Vintage gold. A lot of people calling, do you have anything in the show tonight? Well, it was supposed to be in tomorrow night's show, but I have until tomorrow to figure that one out, right? So we moved something up so we have some vintage gold, but not any vintage gold. It is that collector gold pre-Civil War. Yes, look at these. The 1852 and the 1853 $1 gold piece. Now, most of us remembered the 1800s with U.S. coinage, and we had a 2.5, a 5, and a 10. But when did the other denominations come? In 1849, we find gold where? Out in California. We have the California Gold Rush, and from the gold, we create two more U.S. mint denominations. The $20 piece, which is intended for businesses and governments, that big giant 1 ounce that was unrealistic for the average individual back then, but we needed it because we had gold and it was a great way to transfer assets. But the people, even back then, $2.50 was, hey, we didn't put gold coins out there often, but a $1 gold piece, which was the same denomination as a silver dollar. At this time, it was a seated Liberty dollar, right? Well, that works, and the gold is smaller, and people love gold. So we introduced this Liberty series in 1849. The $1 gold piece is born. But it's also small, so it didn't last a long time. Now, the Liberty series was 1849 through 1854, just that short period. Then it transferred over to the Indian princess. She had a small head for a couple of years, and then she had a big head for a couple of years, and then the series disappeared. That's just the nicknames they gave them. It was because of just the size of her head in relationship to the coin. But the whole series ended in 1889, and we don't have a $1 gold piece anymore. Never have. Our smallest today is that 10th ounce gold piece, right? The 10th ouncer. And that's pricey for most. But these vintage originals, wow, uncirculated. Look at them. I mean, they pop off the screen. Very classic design. The obverse is just the big head of Liberty, which is on all of our coins, all of our gold coins at this time in history. But the back, a big one and the date. $1, 1852. There you have it. And obviously, United States of America. That's it. How simple and clean is the design? Now, my competition, they all have the $1 gold piece. We have to. It's one of those classic U.S. issues that most people didn't even know about. They're at $5.95 for a random $1 gold piece in slider condition. They call it commercial unk, which is technically about uncirculated. I hate that term, commercial unk. What? We're downgrading it, but making it, it's like genuine imitation leather. I get it, but it's not genuine leather. The imitation part's in the middle. Commercial unk, I'm sorry. Oh well, I digress. We're talking about the $1 gold piece, aren't we? This one's a fun one. It's just a fun one. Saving $200 tonight. Ours are unk, and we're giving you the choice of the date you'd like to have. I got very limited quantities of both, but we love this early classic. Now, the other part of the story here is an important part, and that is in 1860s, we had this thing called the Civil War, right? The North and the South, and all the unfortunate things that happened in between, right? Both sides, whether it's the North or the South, needed precious metals to help fund their respective efforts. So copper, silver, and gold disappeared. I mean, to a point where, whether it was in Georgia or in New York, the local merchants were making copper cents themselves, called Civil War tokens, remember? They took postage stamps, right? And they glued them onto buttons, and they called them encased postage stamps. And that was also a form of currency back then. It was because none of this stuff survived, which means these being type 1s, which means they're before the Civil War, means these coins disappeared quickly. I love them. I hope you do as well. We just don't get them often. Guys, we got to put that 30-second clock up. Thank you all for your patience. These last 3 or 4 items, our operators are earning their keep tonight. Thank you. We want to keep them on their toes. But this is a classic. Vintage U.S. gold. Again, most didn't even know the $1 gold piece existed. And tonight, we have your choice of 2 different dates, and we're $200 under our closest competitor. and we're letting you choose your date. It's called the AVC way. I love it. I hope you do as well. These gold coins aren't going to last much longer.